and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin Nicolo.
And Colin Cunningham.
And today's episode is a
April
listener...
was already punch drunk because she was doing stunts before the episode started.
Yeah.
Were you waiting for a gag from us or something?
Maybe, I don't know.
We were very polite in that opening in a way that we're usually not.
Okay, so...
I can't do Jackie Chan's voice. I'm sorry. That is not something I can do on a podcast.
No, that's right.
He just says, Uncle, Uncle.
Yes.
Well, he does say that. And then the little kid says, like, yeah, okay. All right, so today we're talking Rumble in the Bronx because this was our listener request, our bad movie lottery episode. So this was requested by T.E. Dickinson, and they said, I would love to hear you all discuss Jackie Chan's Rumble in the Bronx. If you caught me any other week, I probably would have picked something else, but I just rewatched it and I found the weird costumes, dialogue, and production choices just as much fun as the stunts. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I remember my local news reviewers trashing it for all those reasons when it was released, completely missing the point of the movie, of course. So yeah, we're going to talk about Rumble in the Bronx, and I was really happy because I had never seen this movie before.
You'd never seen Rumble in the Bronx? It was a hit. Everybody was watching it at the time of its release.
Yeah, man, this was when Jackie Fever took hold of Hollywood.
Well, I have a horrible secret, which is this is only the second Jackie Chan movie I think I've ever seen.
Get out of
and
my house.
I think it was during the pandemic that we watched Drunken Master 2.
Classic.
And I may have been a little bit of a drunken master myself that night. So I don't remember all of it, but I remember the really great fight scenes, and I remember absolutely loving it.
But
and
you
it was
love
wonderful.
fighting, April. Why would you watch any Jackie Chan movies?
It's not even that. I haven't seen a lot of martial arts movies in general. I don't know. They it's not like people I knew were watching them in the 90s. It just wasn't around. It wasn't on TV as far as I knew.
We could be watching Jackie Chan Adventures, the animated Jackie Chan show.
See? I had absolutely no knowledge of this movie when it came out. What I understand of this movie is that people make fun of it because it's supposed to be in the Bronx and it's clearly in Vancouver. And that's really the extent that I knew about this movie.
But this movie was huge. It topped the box office when it came out. And it is the thing that made Jackie Chan a star in North America.
Yeah,
and it may have been New Line doing a very specific marketing push where they were like, oh, he does all his own stunts. Incorrect, not true. He does a lot of his own stunts, but even the big jump in this movie between two buildings is not him. It's director Stanley Tong that's doing it.
Wow, they even show that in the end credits again. I thought it was him.
No.
Yeah, I think he was still, I heard from an effects guy who worked on this movie that he was still recovering from his ankle break
that makes
at that point. So Stanley, I think Stanley's was a stuntman as well, stuntman.
He was, and a fight coordinator. And basically, by doing that, he does all his own stunts. That's what really made him a star. He got an award at the MTV Movie Awards from Quentin Tarantino for Lifetime Achievement because he just bought it. Yeah. Jackie Chan. Probably said it wrong, Chung or something like that.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I'm talking about Jackie Chan.
Right.
Okay.
Do you want my opinion on the Israel-Palestine conflict? Because I live in Israel. Oh, no, Quentin, please, no. Just talk about 70s movies.
I'm surprised he didn't show up on stage wearing, Drunken Master robes or something.
Oh, did he? I'm going to look now.
No,
I mean, he was definitely, I assume, sniffling as he gave the award.
Well, I was confused because I had heard from you, Colin, that this was his first American movie, and that's
this was a Hong Kong movie.
Correct. I was confused when I was watching this movie because I was I
misspoke.
But,
I didn't mean it that way.
Well, because they're oh, we're in America, so stop speaking Chinese. Okay, and then they're still speaking Chinese, but they're dubbed. They're dubbed with English, but which I found very distracting at first. But you get used to it because even the English speakers are
his
dubbed.
First American movie was a little picture called Battle Creek Brawl from 1980 that was directed by Robert Klaus, director of Enter the Dragon.
That was The Big Brawl. Was that the same movie?
Yeah, The Big Brawl. Yeah,
Big Brawl. And then he did The Protector.
Yes, directed by James Glickenhaus, and that one didn't break through either. And he only got James Glickenhaus, who was most famous for directing exploitation films like The Exterminator, because The Exterminator beat the big brawl at the box office. That's the only reason he got that filmmaker. Like during the week it was released.
I've seen The Exterminator and The Exterminator 2.
Yeah.
But only 2 Jackie Chan films.
Yeah, crazy.
I know.
Crazy to think.
It's kind of like April being like, oh yeah, I've seen The Sting 2 like 10 times. Like that Curb Your Enthusiasm bitch. Wait, have you never seen The Sting? No, thank you.
No, I've seen Inspector Gadget 2 with French Stewart. Over
Love
the
it.
original.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was obsessed with Jackie Chan.
Really? So you had the fever, the Jackie fever.
At the time this movie came out. So this is before this movie came out. I was just obsessed with him.
So what started your obsession with Jackie?
Was Drunken Master 2. So when I was at Sheridan in college, my roommates had a lot of like kung fu movies, and then I don't know when exactly. We were watching Big Trouble in Little China, and then my friend is like, "Oh, you're gonna love Drunken Master 2." And we watched all the fight scenes and stuff, and I was just like, "Holy shit!"
So
this
you
is
were
crazy.
lucky to have roommates that had probably these movies, or at least had
Yeah.
access to these movies, or had knowledge of that. I was missing that in my life.
Well, I remember my friend Yasu when I was in grade school, in like grade 5 or 6. He was Japanese, and he had his dad worked for JVC, so he was one of the first kids I knew that had like a VCR, and he had hundreds and hundreds of Jackie Chan movies, and he used to play them for us.
Well,
like in grade
Jackie
5 and 6.
huge in Japan, huge.
Oh yeah.
That's right, because he had a long-term contract with Mitsubishi, that there'd be like a Mitsubishi car in all of his movies too.
Oh, okay.
But he never really had that American kind of like superstar status until Rumble in the Bronx, which when you watch the movie you're like, this is the film that made him break through.
But okay, when did he start like speaking English? Like Rush Hour?
Well, he speaks English.
Yes.
He does it in The Protector.
Yeah, but
he
I
speaks
mean
English in
like
Rumble.
in the 90s, post
Oh,
90s.
Rush Hour. Yeah, that's his first Hollywood production. And the director of that film, Batman Brett Ratner, says that like he had really had to fight to cast Jackie in that film.
Wow, even after
that's
Rumble.
crazy.
Yeah, even after Rumble, that people were like, I don't know, like, is he going to be able to do this? Even though that like he's a gigantic star everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brett Ratner was like, don't worry, I'm going to make the most generic film that I could possibly make, and it will be a massive hit, which it
made
was.
so much money.
Yeah.
They're just insane.
So did you guys like it?
At the time of its
Rush
release,
Hour?
yes.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, it was
It
fun.
is very racist.
Oh, yeah.
if you
What
watch
about
it. Yeah.
what about Rush Hour 2?
A bigger hit than Rush Hour? I liked it when it came out.
Yeah, like Shanghai Nights, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
I never watched Shanghai Nights or Shanghai Noon is like,
Oh, sorry.
well, there's 2 of them. Shanghai Nights is the second, Shanghai Noon is the first one. They are like both 2 hours long. That is unforgivable.
Owen
much.
Wilson and Jackie
Yes.
Chan.
Yeah.
The lowest kind of energy comedy you have ever seen. You know what's a
Yeah.
good Jackie Chan American film? Around the World in 80 Days.
Really?
Him and Steve Coogan. Arnie shows up in a cameo.
Yeah.
Sammo Hung shows up as well.
No
It's fun.
shit.
Yep.
What about The Foreigner? I've always wanted to watch that.
Oh, I really like The Foreigner. That
Yeah.
has like full on ham Pierce Brosnan as well.
Right,
cool.
Pierce
Being like,
Brosnan's in
I
it.
need to get the Chinaman.
Oh my god.
Directed by Martin Campbell too.
Yep, that's right.
Does great action scenes. Well, yeah. So I was obsessed, and I didn't know Rumble in the Bronx was coming out, and then I think my friend told me, hey, there's like I think it was 60 Minutes or 2020 or something. They did like a little, I don't know, 30-minute segment on Jackie Chan, and they were showing compilations of his stunts and his movies that I hadn't seen before. And then I think I was on some internet forum when I first got internet. And then got talking to, I was in the Jackie Chan forum or something, and then some guy sent me a videotape. It was the very best of Jackie Chan, and it was just every fight scene.
Back in the days when people would
It was
send each
crazy.
other videotapes.
Yeah, it just
by
showed me.
mail.
I didn't know.
Now,
the
was it like
guy.
a Seventh Generation? Like it looks like a
I don't-
cannibal film or something like
It
that.
was like he had it ready to go. He just asked for my address. I didn't pay him any money. It just showed up at my doorstep, and it was like the best. It was every fight scene, every action scene from all of his movies, and I just watched that like endlessly. So I had no idea Rumble in the Bronx was coming out until I saw this 60 Minutes or something.
So what's interesting about this particular movie is that it comes at a weird time in Jackie's career where he was kind of trying to figure out what he wanted to do now. He's old in Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah, and he plays like this like young hot shot, and I was like,
he does not look like a young hot shot.
He's too old to be dating that young lady. Yeah, that's what I thought.
In the American cut, which is basically the New Line cut, which is what it's available, they cut out that like he has a girlfriend back in Hong Kong, I think, is referenced in it.
I wondered because what Just Watch said it was 140 minutes, but then when we rented it was 130 minutes. Sorry, an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. Oh God, if it was 140 minutes.
Sorry. It's an hour and a half. But I wondered. I was like, I bet there's a director's cut out there or something.
So at this point, like Jackie had done Super Cop, the cop that can't be stopped, and he had basically sold his soul and acted in Wong Jing City Hunter. He had tried to make a serious film with Crime Story, which is like doesn't have that much Jackie style action in it. He also did Drunken Master 2, which was kind of like a goodbye to that style of action. And then he made 2 films in 1995. Another one that's more Japanese kind of centric, Thunderbolt, which was supposed to be where he's like a driver in it.
Yeah.
And Rumble in the Bronx. Those were 2 attempts at like, all right, let's try to do like international pictures, but within the context of like the Hong Kong productions.
Thunderbolt had some good action scenes in it, actually.
Yeah, it's very blurred for some reason.
Well,
like
it has that staccato editing technique, and I think it's to hide, from what I heard...
He injured himself.
He injured himself, and it was to hide the stunt doubles.
And there's car chases in that movie because he's a race car driver, but they could only go like... They couldn't go over like 30 miles per hour, some ridiculous number, so all the car chases are sped up as well.
Sped up, it looks hilarious. It's like Looney Tunes.
But Rumble in the Bronx, this is the movie, comes out, blows up. And when you watch the movie now, you're like, he doesn't fight for 18 minutes in this movie.
I had no idea that this was so popular.
Yes, very popular.
Yeah, it was a big hit. I remember, like, it didn't do crazy numbers, but it was like for, a re-release that, a year after the movie was...
Well,
you could get this, if you went to Chinatown, you could get a copy of this when it was in theaters.
Yeah, I guess when it was in theaters, I was 7, so...
Yeah, it was a big deal. I went
this
with all my
played
friends.
all the time on TBS, April. I'm surprised you didn't see it.
I think maybe that sounds familiar, but I never watched it. And I did martial arts, so I don't know why. I just was never.
You're like, I need real martial arts, like Bruce Lee instead of Jackie.
I hate to bring it up.
Martial arts aren't funny.
I still haven't seen The Raid.
Oh, that's fine.
That's a good movie.
But we watched, what's that? Was it Ong Bak? We watched that. I think that was a pandemic view too. And that was great.
You were only 15 years late on that one as well.
I know. But never late than never.
Hey,
right?
the Raid just got remastered. It just got restored. We can watch the restoration.
There's a lot of people talking about The Raid these days.
Is there? Why?
I don't know. It just keeps coming up.
No, it just got a re-release. Like,
I guess that's why.
Three
Yeah,
weeks ago or
$50 for a new Blu-ray where all they did was new color correction.
Yeah.
And the director of that is trapped in his own hell because there's a movie he started 4 years ago that he cannot finish because Tom Hardy will not come back to finish the scenes.
What
is up with Tom Hardy?
That's a Netflix movie. What is it called? It's not Chaos. It's something like that. But yeah, it's
he's
been like
the star of it, and he won't come back.
Yes.
To,
He seems to have become like a recluse. He hasn't been in a movie since that Capone.
Capone.
I was going to say Capote.
He is
Capote,
supposedly a very difficult man.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh, Havoc is what it's called, and I believe it was supposed to be done before the pandemic. I think.
My God.
Yeah, status updated. Yeah.
Shit.
So like that one, and it's a Netflix movie, and they can't get him back. So like,
oh my God.
So the movie's probably just
at that point you may as well just like reshoot his scenes
recast. Yeah.
You can't recast. He's the star of the movie. That's the issue.
Well, let's get a CG.
Let's get some AI.
Let's get a CG replacement in there. Like,
isn't Tom Hardy like shooting the new Venom movie right now? Like,
I think he's still doing Venom.
Yeah,
but that's like the only thing he's doing. Tom Hardy was primed to be.
Wait, is
like
it called
the next...
Venom: The Last Dance? I'm just looking at IMDb right now.
Is it really?
It might be. He was like the actor who was like, wow, he's such a chameleon. He's so good. He can do anything and everything.
He can do an accent that sounds like you've never heard it before.
And then his career, he just went, again, was it because he was difficult to work with? And
he's very
100%.
So that's what happened, right?
Charlize Theron got a restraining order against him during the filming of Fury Road.
So they could never be in the truck together. They had to be shot in separate trucks.
Are they shooting The Wasteland, the Mad Max movie? It says in production on IMDb, but what does that mean? Yeah.
Is that the sequel to Furiosa?
Yes. No, it's a sequel to Fury Road. Yeah.
Oh God, no, I had no idea.
Well,
George Miller's like 90 years old. Stop
I
making
know,
him go
he's
to the
so-
desert.
IMDb, you don't like. It,
No, you don't trust that,
Take
yeah.
that with a grain of salt.
He probably just like announced or mentioned it on some like interview.
Please don't make me do. I'm trying to do George Miller. It sounds like a Tom Hardy voice or something. Hello, it's me, Tom Hardy.
I hate sand so very much.
You got to do. Is he Australian? So
He's Australian, yeah.
Is he
Colin-
Australian? I thought
George
he
Miller.
was. Oh, George Miller.
George
Yeah.
Miller. Sorry,
Tom
not
Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
We don't know where he's from.
I think he's. I think he's.
He's British. He's British. Yes.
My
be
accent
from
places
anywhere.
you on, or your accent places you on
The
Mars.
British Isles. There's a touch of the British Isles in your voice.
I think I forgot that he also does the voice of Venom. Like he's not just in Venom. Like he does the like.
Well,
Yeah.
you know the story, right?
Hello,
when they
Eddie.
did Venom, that like he had so much material. They were like, this man is off his rocker.
Yeah,
You,
I like that first Venom movie.
Yeah,
It's so unhinged.
It's funny, but he would be insufferable to work with.
Oh, it sounds like an absolute nightmare. I wonder when that started. Do you think like
Bane.
someone like Christopher Nolan can keep him in check? And like that's pretty much it.
No, it sounded like from what I heard that he was like barely hanging on in that movie. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just like, here, put a mask over your face so we can
Yeah.
like dub in anything and like replace you if we have to.
yeah.
And yeah, remember, he was also in that Star Trek movie.
Oh, that Nemesis.
Oh
Nemesis.
God.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
when
yeah.
he
That was a
first.
long
Okay,
time ago.
we got to get back to Rumble in the Bronx.
We gotta
How
start
got
Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah, we haven't-
Which
Well-
unfortunately in the New Line cut starts with music that's like da na 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 na.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, boo.
It's like you're just waiting for those gongs and like the Chinese
Fuck off. This is what I gotta say
Chinese
about
like
that.
clarinet like
Over like
Yeah.
generic shots of like a
Stock
plane
footage.
coming down. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's from. As we're talking about, I'm going to bring up the Hong Kong version, which did get a Blu-ray release, I think, in Japan, but it's tough to find English subtitle, but it's out there if you really look for it.
Wait, so the Hong Kong version did it not have the dubbing?
Okay, well, so Hong Kong movies are always dubbed because
Right.
they don't shoot sync sound. So like everyone's speaking their own language and they dub it. So like Jackie for the longest time, he just had a dubber guy. It wasn't his voice in his movies. Isn't that wild?
When did he? But didn't he like start insisting that it be him?
Post Rumble in the Bronx, it's all him. Yep.
Okay. Because I mean, because even though I've never seen any of his movies, like I know what he sounds like. Oh, correction. He did do a voice in that Ninja Turtles movie last year that I watched.
Yeah, he did Splinter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have heard him. In
Have
a
you
movie.
not seen the Jaden Smith's Karate Kid movie with Jackie in it?
I have not. No. I
seems up your-
but the fact
your
that
alley.
like
Have you not
everyone
played
for,
Jackie
like,
Chan Stuntmaster, the game?
Did he do a voice in that?
Yeah, my
Yeah,
friend,
it's his voice.
my friend Paul Brown, I think, directed, who we had on the podcast.
No,
He
he
did.
directed that game?
He was like an animation director or as an
I
animator.
put so many clips of that game in like Jackie Chan montage I do because the game starts with like a big push-in across a warehouse, and then Jackie Chan's character turns around, and it's like a flat, like low-res JPEG of his face on this like a square.
I need to see this. I can't even
you-
picture this.
Yeah, but he said
It looks like shit.
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I think he said his like him and his stunt team like flew out to
Yeah, they did
Vancouver.
mocap for it.
Yeah, and they would do
Yep.
it in like Vancouver or something like that. So.
Wow.
I'm sure he's got like a
previous
bunch of
guest,
stories.
Paul Brown maybe directed.
I think he mentioned
Jackie
it
Chan.
when he was on the podcast. I can't remember.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. Maybe I brought it up. Anyway, back to
You're like,
Rumble in the
I have
Bronx.
Jackie Chan Stuntmaster related questions, please. People like that game actually.
What system was that for?
Oh God,
PlayStation.
first PlayStation.
Yeah, first PlayStation.
Yeah.
All right, after we're done recording, I want you to show me clips of it on YouTube because I need to see this.
I wonder if my Jackie Chan montage is up somewhere where he like dances with a condom in like a safe sex thing. It's like an animated condom that like gives him a thumbs up.
Was this like that you would have played at the Royal or during like,
Yeah,
a stream?
I played it twice. No. I played it for. We did a screening of Fantasy Mission Force, which was a film that Jackie Chan appears in wearing overalls, chasing a chicken because he was contractually obligated to do it by the triads who had broken a contract
No,
for him.
I definitely didn't see that one.
Yeah. And I've played it before too on other Jackie Chan related things that I've done. Because there's clips like there's like a lot of Mountain Dew commercials he was in where it's like do the do and he's like doing really crazy moves and there's like a theme song in one of the commercials. It's like Jackie. Anyway, he's big. We got to get through this movie, which is
Well,
Let's start.
Let's start in the Bronx.
The plot of this movie is kind of goes from one thing to another. It's not the most like cohesive narrative because you're just like, oh, it's the movie about this. No, it's about this, and then it kind of doesn't build upon itself. It's more of a zigzag in my opinion.
Yeah, between the fight scenes, you know what I mean. But
hey, I like the plot stuff too. You can't have a movie that's just fight scenes.
Yeah, I know.
Like your VHS tape.
We've
Colin.
got the great
Yeah, you can. Do you think Colin? What do you think Colin enjoyed more, Rumble in the Bronx or that VHS tape that he had?
Man, that had all the best.
It's okay to have like dialogue in between. You can't overdose on dopamine, you guys.
Yeah,
because then it won't have the same effect.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true. It had diminishing returns. You got to wait for the fight scene.
That being said,
Yeah.
fight scenes in this movie are fantastic.
Yep, that's
Really.
why people love it.
They're good. They're really fun.
Okay, so he arrives in Vancouver Airport.
To meet his uncle, who owns
LaGuardia.
owns a grocery store in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. So we get a lot of stock footage as they're driving to this grocery store. Which is obviously in Vancouver. And
Yes,
When they
there's
arrive in the
mountains in the
Bronx.
background.
This is one of the biggest laughs. I remember I saw this opening weekend, and huge laugh when they cut to the bad guy playing golf in the Bronx with the mountains behind him.
Imagine if you saw this in Vancouver, everyone would be dying.
Oh man, that would. It did play at the Rio recently, which is like a big
Nice.
indie theater in
Yeah, yeah.
Vancouver.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Hey, Rio, you're listening? Invite us over.
Yeah.
No such thing as a
my
bad
God.
movie.
Please.
Any Rio millionaires will stay in your house forever.
We'll do a No Such Thing as a Bad Movie presents, and we'll talk.
My wife
briefly.
parents live in Vancouver, so I have a reason to go. So
There you go.
all the 10 people that show up for our show. Oh, wait, I thought you showing a different movie. There's a podcast? What's this? No, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Goodbye, sir. So yeah, we're introduced to his uncle. The first thing that stands out, people were laughing in the theater is the dubbing, obviously, because Jackie didn't really speak English very well at this point.
Okay, so he spoke English in Battle Creek Brawl from 1980, and I read an interview like a couple of years ago with his co-star in that movie, and she was like, I don't understand how his English has not gotten better. Like, he sounded like that when we were like practicing his English back in 1980.
Yeah. So basically, they brought him in to dub himself,
Yes.
but he's speaking Mandarin in the movie. Right?
Probably
Yes.
Cantonese
Oh,
is probably
sorry,
what he would be
Cantonese,
speaking. Yeah.
sure.
I think all the actors usually in his movies just speak whatever language they speak.
And then they get dubbed after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an Italian movie or
Exactly.
something. But I wasn't expecting that. But I'm okay with it.
It's kind of funny.
And after a while, you totally just.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
also, it probably saves a lot of money not having to record sound.
Yeah, the guy who's playing his uncle is really funny.
Yeah, that voice actor. If it's him, it's not him. Who
This guy's
knows?
like 25. And he says, hey, he's just talking like this. Hey, Jackie.
And the guy is like 68 or something, and he's marrying a much much younger woman.
Yeah, the joke is she's not Chinese. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
A boisterous black woman.
yeah, so he's going to the Bronx, which I've never been to the Bronx, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like this. It looks like Canadian city.
They're showing clips. It looks like stock footage from like New York in the like late 70s or
Yeah,
early
it's like
80s.
apocalyptic.
That's the kind of the vibe you get, and
Yeah.
also the early 90s like punk gangs, much like Batman and Robin. Like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of like inspiration I was getting.
But then you're clearly in a parking lot in Vancouver where they built a full-size grocery store. This building is fantastic.
which I didn't know they built it until
Well, because they got to
later.
tear it down at the end of the movie.
But the gangs in this movie are so funny.
It's your typical multi-ethnic gang. So you
Yeah.
have people of every race, and not only that, a lot of them are wearing like
Just really wacky clothing
it's
and
not
wacky
just
haircuts.
that, but they have like the Native American guy is kind of wearing like a headdress type thing, and they're doing that, but also it's like you said, like a 12-year-old was the costume designer, and they
It's
just
like,
wanted to pick things that were like radical and cool.
We
like,
showed this
outfits.
movie at the Fox Cinema, and I don't know if it got put online. I must have put it online. But the guy who plays the blonde-haired gang member in this? He did an intro for our
Angelo.
screening.
Angelo.
Yeah, Angelo.
That's great.
That's hilarious. But it's so funny, and it's like they're driving motorcycles, and then they also have this like. It's like an ATV with like a roll cage.
That looks like a go-kart.
It looks like, Electro from The Running Man. That guy, and he's driving around that like ATV thing with all the Christmas lights on it.
Kind of.
It looks like that. It's like no gang looks like this.
Well, this gang, they also have like motocross bikes with helmets.
Well, that's actually very popular in cities.
Yeah,
like
Really?
you see it in
Those
Creed.
types of bikes?
Yeah, you see it in Creed. It like four-wheelers are driving around on the streets.
Yeah, they have,
as
like,
Michael B. Jordan is running around.
yeah, there's like YouTube clips of just like hundreds of people riding these things through cities, and they just, when the cops come, they just scatter.
Okay, but
So really, Rumble in the Bronx, a snapshot of life as we know it.
But do they drive them over parked cars in a race to get a bag of money hanging from above?
Yeah.
I assume so. Yes.
That's such like a dick thing to do. Like,
It
not
is a
only are
huge
we
dick
going
thing
to
to do.
drag race, but we're gonna ruin hundreds of cars.
Yeah.
But that's what happens at night, and it's two female motorcyclists, one of which Jackie Chan unknowingly is his neighbor.
Francois.
Oh, we forgot a very important piece of information, that there's a young, annoying-sounding neighbor in a wheelchair
Yes.
who's like, hey, Jackie's name is Jackie in this, right?
No,
He-
it's Jung, I think.
Oh, because Jackie was always Jackie in a
all
lot
of
of
his
his movies.
I
Yes.
I think it's Jung. But yeah,
something like
he's
that. Yeah.
He's a very. I kind of like this kid, even though he is very annoying.
He's kind of funny later on when
He's funny.
when he's getting like beaten up and stuff. He's like,
So he's like, hey, my kid. It almost sounds like they got like a female voice actor to voice him. Like, how like grown females often play young boys.
But he kind of watches. Jackie Chan does this great like scene with the wooden dummy, the wooden man thing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a Wing Chun dummy.
Yeah, it's really wicked. That
was great.
Yeah, the kid pans over to the kid going, "Yay, you're number one! Yeah, all right."
I'm an old man. Please don't make me do that again.
Man, and then later he's like doing a walking handstand in his little onesie
Hey, he's
where
nimble.
you can see his bulge.
What is this suit that he's wearing? I don't know what it is. It's like a one piece.
I think it's a wrestling outfit.
I guess
It
but-
was the style at the time.
Was it?
But it looks like long underwear, but it can't be because it's not like there's no arms or legs. So was it just keeping his torso warm?
Yeah, it does.
Well, are you talking about what he's wearing when he's
Doing the
when he
handstand.
wakes up?
Yeah. He's wearing it when he runs down and saves his uncle's car.
He does the upside down thing, and April is right. It's like you can see his dick out
everything.
You can. I've already seen everything.
I've seen everything.
Do you know that Jackie having a girlfriend was something that he didn't really do in movies because his fans supposedly in Japan were so obsessed that like one of them committed suicide when she learned that Jackie was dating someone?
Yeah, she
Jumped in front of a train of
jumped in front of a
poison?
train, and then
Yeah.
another fan like drank poison.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So he could never have a love interest because he'd make his fans like jealous and crazy.
I had no idea. That's insane.
Yeah.
And also, he has a son and that he doesn't care about and that he let go to jail for drug possession and didn't say, Jackie, bad man. If you see what he says now.
But doesn't he also have a daughter that he disowned because
Oh, well,
she's
he's
a
never
lesbian?
acknowledged her. No, he's never acknowledged her because he had it outside of his marriage.
Oh, so that's like an extra
Yes.
illegitimate daughter.
Illegitimate child. Yeah. He's never met his daughter.
Oh, I see.
I believe she lives in Toronto.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's the Jackie Chan, the real person, and not the.
Not the lovable fighter you see
Yeah.
in Rumble in the Bronx.
What a goofball.
Yeah. So he goes to the convenience store and then he lifts like juice like in front of the two-way mirror
show his
and he's
guns.
like showing off his muscles, which is a very silly, but it was a cute little gag.
But I think so. His uncle is selling the grocery store, and Anita Mui.
Yep, that's right. Huge star
Yeah.
in Hong Kong.
Musical star, and she played his mom in Drunken Master 2, or his stepmom.
Yes, that's right.
She looks younger than him.
She was
like,
Yeah,
hilarious.
she's younger than him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think she's a stepmom. You're right.
Okay,
Colin.
stepmom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
I
really funny
vaguely
in that
remember
movie.
that. I gotta rewatch that movie.
Yeah, she's.
But even his dad in that movie is like only a couple years
think I
older than
remember
him.
that.
They do the gray. The gray.
They make him
dusting on
try
his
and
hair
make him
and
look
stuff like that.
older.
Yeah, she's funny. So she's buying the supermarket. The uncle gets married in a Very funny scene. The wife is just singing at the wedding without a
microphone,
and you can hear her everywhere. The acoustics outside are amazing at this wedding.
Yeah, and then they go on their honeymoon.
They are out of the movie.
Yeah, like Uncle disappears.
And never come back.
The whole movie.
I'm just like picturing Uncle and his new bride coming back, like at the end of the
the grocery store has literally been
gone.
ripped off the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, what happened?
What happened? Yeah. So he kind of decides that he's gonna like help look after the store. Just to be nice.
Because some goons show up and they just start making trouble.
Yeah.
These
In the
guys.
middle of the day. So when this fight scene broke out, April, were you like, wow, that's what Jackie does? I know you've seen Drunken Master too, but...
No, I mean, I've seen my share of at least clips of Jackie Chan's movies, but it is like amazing to see it like in context. And I mean, it's nothing less than what I expected.
It's a great,
but it even
great
still
scene.
like not so much this scene, but the later it just escalates more and more and more with all the great
Don't worry,
like, props.
it's on me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's being Angelo in that scene.
These goons, they're stealing chocolate bars. Those wacky
It's
crazies.
funny because like he gets into so many fights and confrontations with these guys, but these are the small time criminals.
Yeah.
Wait till the big time criminals come.
Yeah,
Wait
it's
till
like
Mr.
they are
White.
unconnected from the actual large plot of the movie.
Yeah.
until like it seems more than the halfway mark.
It is. It is. He's just like tangling with these guys who have a vendetta against him, and it all starts here because they were stealing from the store.
Yeah, so they beat him up. This scene is fantastic. It's a
great,
great fight scene. It's very short, but it's got everything that Jackie does.
He's like the king of like using like his surroundings.
I love how April's realizing it's like, I've been listening to this Beatles band.
I know.
And man, they do good pop songs.
I know everybody is probably going to be like, "Oh my god, how could you not know this?" But everyone has to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Even
Yes.
at
So next up, the tuxedo, the spy next door.
the spy next door.
Oh no.
Well, maybe at the end of this podcast, you can recommend me where I should go next.
Sure. Gonna watch them all.
Yeah, like Pokemon. Wait, you've probably watched Pokemon, right? Before Jackie?
Oh, the TV show, yes.
Yes.
and the movie.
Is Pikachu dead yet?
I think Pikachu can never die.
Okay. Ash will die
Yeah.
before Pikachu.
Pokemon have a longer lifespan. Than
I'm Ash Ketchum. The woman who does Ash's voice is like 80 years old now. So is the woman who does Pikachu.
I don't think she's that old. Unless they replaced her, because somebody I know recently, like
with Tom Hardy.
somebody I know was
it's
like,
me,
hey,
Marge Simpson.
they somehow ran into the woman who does Ash Ketchum through their work.
In the English dub?
Yeah. Oh, if you're talking about the Japanese.
I was talking
version,
about the
then
Japanese dub, yeah. You know what? She's only 55 years old, so she's not that old.
There you go.
I wonder who does the voice. Someone from Vancouver, I'm sure, in the same Jackie Chan style.
Oh yeah. Well, all those animes were done like either in Vancouver or Ontario.
Mm-hmm. And I think when we've said this before, I said because it's non-union, and people were like, "No, there's a union in Vancouver," and yes, there is, but like they came because they didn't have to pay a union in Canada.
Yeah.
That's why Wolverine's like, I sound like I'm Irish now. That's not an Irish accent, but I don't know if you guys have been watching X-Men 97.
I have, and I absolutely love it. And I didn't think he sounded Irish. I thought that they just were just cranking up the Canadian to a comical degree.
Yeah, there's sometimes. Yeah, I don't know what he is. Maybe it's an American doing.
I don't know
a
about
Canadian.
you.
No, he's Canadian. They're all Canadian.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
No,
they are.
I can hear it coming through. Hey there, bub.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey
a
there,
boat,
bub.
A boat.
Guys, the new X-Men show is great.
It is really good.
You know what else is great? Rumble in the Bronx.
Yes.
Even though the next scene is a little weird because Jackie is walking down the street, goes down an alleyway, he gets attacked, and it's like, oh, there's going to be a fight. Well, kind of. It's very brief, and then Jackie just gets pummeled with bottles in slow motion.
Yeah.
Well, the setup for this is he thinks he witnesses a woman getting raped
like
or
abducted or
abducted.
something.
And so it goes to show you, never help anyone. Because that was a trap. They were trapping him specifically because that woman, part of the gang.
Don't help anyone if you broke up a gang fight earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good little kind of action scene. It shows some other aspects of his action capabilities.
Yes.
You know, it's like a kind of playground fight. It reminded me of one from, I think it was Police Story 2. You know, he's jumping around.
It's Police Story 2.
Jumping around the jungle gym and doing stuff like that. Jumping off, you know, and he climbs up
ladders
walls and
and
just
stuff.
flips off stuff.
It's almost like parkour, pre-parkour.
Yeah, but in a Jackie
Some
Chan
could
style.
say that Jackie is very good at using his environment when it comes to fight
It's
scenes.
interesting.
He
It's
really
like he uses
is.
props.
And the way that he does it is they don't pre-prepare. They get the set, and it takes weeks to shoot the scenes.
Yeah, because they just figure it out.
They figure it out.
The guy who played Angelo said like he's just sat around Vancouver for weeks and months waiting for like to be
This
utilized.
Jackie and his guys are just walking around. Oh, here's a baseball bat we could use.
Well, isn't pretty much everyone in this movie, they're all stuntmen, right? But
Yep,
they can
they are.
act as well, so it's...
Well,
Well,
I mean, that's arguable.
There's the one Asian guy that's in the gang. I know him from stuff, and I wonder if he's on Jackie's
I
stunt
actually
team.
kind of also recognized him.
He's got like
as
the
well.
facial hair. He's with
He has
Angelo.
he has the gray, like the white, like
Jackie beats him up in the
highlights.
first action scene. He ties
Yeah.
his arms up, and then he's like apologize to her in Cantonese or something.
Justin, do you know this man?
I can't picture him in my head right now. So if I saw him, I'd be like, oh yeah, that guy.
I'm sure someone will let us know.
So the plot still hasn't kicked into this movie somehow.
No. So this is Jackie somehow makes his way back to his place, his uncle's place. We meet the wheelchair kid again, and
Did you notice he was playing gigantic Game Gear?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
And that's
as soon as he gave it to him, I was like, "That's a Game Gear because
And I
had
hope that
one.
he only wants to play it for 30 minutes because then the batteries will be dead.
Yeah.
Wait, did you like? I was so jealous of the Game Gear.
I liked it at the time, but like it was nothing compared to my Game Boy Color that I got years later, which was much more compact.
So you didn't have a Game Boy?
No.
Like everyone had. So you didn't play Pokemon when it came out?
No, I only played Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy Color.
Oh,
I had a Game Boy, and I wasn't even like a Nintendo guy.
Yeah, I had Yellow.
Everybody had a Game Boy. It was huge and it was cheap.
Well,
That's
for
the other
some
thing.
reason, we got a Game Gear instead of a Game
Wow.
Boy.
Weird.
Your
I don't know
parents
why.
chose poorly.
Yeah.
Well, the battery companies loved it.
Oh yeah, they loved
Duracell
it.
stock went
Duracell
through the
and
roof.
Energizer.
8 Duracells. to, like,
I
play it
remember
for
playing
20
it
minutes.
like on the floor while it was plugged in to the
Yeah,
wall.
it's getting
Yeah.
really hot.
The only way to play, burning your hands.
Jackie, when he first meets the wheelchair kid goes into like the school bus, and Jackie just pulls it out of his pocket.
Here, have a
Like,
Game Boy Gear.
okay,
How much was the Game Gear back then?
First of all, why would Jackie Chan have a Game Gear, and how did he fit it in his pocket? It's gigantic.
Did he bring it from China? Did he somehow pick it up at a local Radio Shack?
I don't know.
Who knows?
He just
Yeah.
he looks at it like, oh
Here you
yeah,
go.
I have this in my pocket.
So-
And he's like, wheelchair kid.
When the Game Gear came out, it was the equivalent of $340 in 2023.
Oh my
That's
god.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's move away from the kid playing Game Gear.
sorry.
Who knows what game? I just searched best Game Gear games and like nothing. Sonic?
I
that
had,
game sucked on Game Gear.
Sonic 2. I liked it.
The screen was the wrong aspect ratio. It looked-
God.
did you
I
have
had,
Tails Adventures?
I don't think so. I had Sonic 2 and some like Tetris knockoff.
Oh, like a Block
like-
Boy or
it
something.
was something
Oh my
not-
God! Did the Simpsons Bart versus the Space Mutants came out for Game Gear? Are you punishing a child if you get them that game? Anyway,
So wheelchair kid, his sister is
Yes.
Francoise Yip, who's dating Tony, the leader of the gang.
gang, yeah. So she gets home. She's like, "Oh, brother, get back here!" And as she leaves to like take garbage out, a bloody Jackie pops up like a horror sting, being
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
"Ah!"
Yeah, that was gruesome.
They nurse him back to health, and it seems like the next day he's just
I
walking
took
around.
your shirt off and your pants to clean you up.
Yeah, he's fine. I mean,
He's
he
fine.
He recovered. No
He's
problem.
literally walking around the next day and then bumps into the gang, and the hilarity ensues. They chase him through like a parking garage.
Yeah, this is a really good, setting because he like starts climbing up the levels, and there's
Yeah.
like inexplicably like the driver with a bunch of balls and
Balls in the back of
like bouncing like beach balls.
I need to get this at the children's hospital. It's the only thing that'll make them happy.
It's at the top of this parking
It's
garage.
like they're not
Garage.
they're not packaged up. They're just
The guy is
loosely
like
in
also
there.
like a hippie. He has like a tie-dye shirt on and like
Yeah.
what are the kind of hat that he wears? It's like people don't really wear them anymore,
I don't
right?
know.
It's
What is it
very
called?
strange.
It's like I imagine people with hacky sacks wearing hats like that.
Oh God, almost like a beret.
Yeah, no, but it's like flat, like a fisherman's cap almost on your head. What are those
Okay.
called?
Oh, like the bricklayer caps?
I don't know. What they're
They kind of
called.
start
a pork. No,
like
not
the
a pork
Peaky
pie.
Blinder ones, where they kind of start high at the top and come down.
It's something like that. People are yelling at the podcast right now, being like, "It's this lame hat." Like
All these,
people like
all
who
these
did-
Irish people.
You mean
"Hey,
like
it's a
the Sam
bricklayer's cap."
Kinison hat, or is that just
kinda?
a beret?
It's like I'm in a ska band and I'm wearing sunglasses.
I know the ones you mean.
Oh no, it's like a reggae band. Is probably
Yes,
why.
okay.
I
Oh,
wear
I
that
know
hat.
those hats.
It's
But
like a-
they're like flat at the front, but they kind of go back like a
Okay,
beret.
we've described like 10 different hats.
Not like you're talking about like a
you know,
Kangol.
the one with that has like the ears
Kangol.
that are like angel wings.
No,
Kangol, is that what it's called?
no, Kangles are what like Sam Jackson always wears, and what Quentin
Okay,
Tarantino
that's
always
what I'm
wears.
thinking.
No,
of.
yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of. That hat is cool.
Well, send us a picture of this hat.
Jesus Christ!
Wait, maybe that's what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm going to send a picture right now. So when I searched Kangol, that came up.
Yeah.
But I actually want to take a still from the movie.
Okay, I
and what
kind
the
of-
guy's wearing.
Kegels? Kangles.
Kangles, not Kegels.
I'm doing Kegels.
Keegan Michael Kegel.
You do see Jackie jump off the truck as it goes over. I think that's him.
Yeah, it looks good. There's some like great stunt work, some good use of the environment. It's almost like he's really good at using the environment.
Well, it was my.
He's very red-faced in this movie, too, which is funny.
Well, they do. Okay, so the build up, and this was all over the trailers, was when he does the jump off the parking garage
yeah.
to like a
the
stairwell
other
on the
building.
other side.
Yeah, which
He does all his own stunts,
honestly,
not this one, though.
news to me that wasn't him.
Yeah, I found that out years later. I was kind of crushed, but it kind of makes sense. It's
Every
like-
kid on the playground was like, that's what people knew about Jackie. It was such
Yeah.
a good marketing hook. That was a blatant. And Jackie would say it on shows, too, being like, I do all my own stunts.
Yes, and it's they lie in the closing credits when they
Yes,
show
where you see the
Yeah.
jump and then he stands up.
he stands up,
Yeah.
but then he does the little shimmy twist dance
Yeah.
that they show earlier after he finishes a stunt.
Yeah.
He does like a little happy dance.
So this is
So
just
this is
propaganda.
parodied in a Wong Jing film where Jackie made a City Hunter with Wong Jing, and in the movie High Risk, it's called. Jet Li plays the Jackie Chan analog stunt double, where like Jet Li does the stunt, and then like everyone crowds around, and then Jackie Chan stands up. And he's like, I did it. That movie also
that's funny.
insinuates Jackie Chan as the penis of a small child.
What movie is this? City
It's called
Hunter?
High Risk.
High Risk.
So watch City Hunter. That's the one that Wong Jing directed. That stars Jackie Chan, and they had such a miserable experience that basically Wong Jing made a whole diss movie about Jackie Chan. Yeah, Wong Jing is a bad man too, but his movie's very entertaining.
he fought what's his name from Blood Moon in
Yes, Gary Daniels
Gary
in that movie,
Daniels.
and Richard Norton is in that one too.
Yeah, Gary
Wong
Daniels.
Jing did?
Yeah,
No, Jackie Chan did.
they do like a Street Fighter fight.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan is Chun Li, and then Richard.
That's right, because he gets electrocuted by an arcade machine.
And then Gary Daniels is Ken.
Ken, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks like a cowboy hat to me, Justin. Unless
It's
you're
not a
talking about
cowboy
the guy in the
hat.
background.
No. Like, watch it turn. So it's like, see, it's like a baseball cap at the front, but then it's also the American flag.
Yeah.
What?
I
don't even know.
It does kind of look like a baseball cap at the front. I don't know.
It is a
it's
baseball cap
weird-
at the front. What is that hat? It's actually not what I thought it was. It's
I
like
gotta see it from another direction.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I just
you
said
know what
another
it was?
direction.
It looks like one of the hats that Bill Cosby used to wear in the 70s.
It's kind of like a golf hat with a brim.
It's a huge, big, puffy, like
hat, but it has a
Yeah.
brim at the front.
Yes.
What would be the use of a hat like that?
I don't
It's
know.
also the American flag.
Yeah, I haven't seen. Well, they were like, okay,
It's like,
you know,
come on,
New
they're in the
York.
Bronx.
All they did in this movie is put New York license plates on the cars, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Later, they have
I mean,
the.
not that many cars,
I mean,
right? There's
that-
probably tons
no.
of Vancouver license plates.
This hovercraft chase at the end, like I don't want to skip ahead, but that is like the most Canadian looking, like West
Everything,
Coast,
yeah.
like
Well,
city you've
at
ever
one
seen.
point, there's just a Canada Post box, and I'm like, I know that maybe the average American wouldn't notice that, but like it's so bright red, it just
Yeah.
that just just screams Canada to me.
It's just all the stock footage at the beginning. It's like they set up the Bronx to be this 80s nightmare, and
then it's like very pleasant.
Nothing.
Looking green
it's like
hills.
It's like pleasant weather,
kind of clean
lovely
Vancouver. Like there's no
Beautiful
decrepit
mountains.
buildings or anything like that.
Jackie and the director were like, it was so hard to make it look like New. It's like you failed. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
Well, they probably didn't know. They've probably never been to
Yeah,
Vancouver.
they don't know. It's like if we went like, oh, we need to make it look like Hong Kong, and it's like, I don't know what if we have to shoot somewhere else.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
we're 50 minutes into the movie, and now the plot kicks into play.
Okay, so just randomly.
Yeah, so there's a diamond like deal happening, but then is it because of Jackie and small time gangs
No,
fight
it's
that they
completely
crash?
unrelated.
The crash is completely
So the crash
unrelated.
just
Unrelated.
happens, and Angelo and another gangster are like, "What's going on over there?" And they run over and they steal a briefcase.
Yes, and it turns out that briefcase
be diamonds.
is full of a bag of diamonds.
Yeah, it's full of diamonds, and
Do
Jackie.
you like diamonds, April? I feel like I've asked this question before, but
No, I don't support the diamond industry.
who cares? Why do you want a diamond?
Well, exactly.
It doesn't even look nice.
There are other.
Give me a hat
there's other
that's weird and we can't describe it, and it's an American
And it has
flag.
an
That's what we
American
want.
There's other semi-precious stones that are much cheaper, and people didn't have to die.
And they're prettier.
They
It
are
doesn't
prettier.
matter. Like if you had like a cubic zirconia, what do they call it? Cubic zirconia?
Zirconia.
Zirconia, yeah.
Zirconia.
A Cuban Zardoz.
Yes.
Zardozian.
But yeah,
If they look the same,
it's
who
just
cares?
it's funny, like the old like bag of diamonds. It's such like
I know.
a bad movie trope, but
First
it's
of all,
so
where are you
going
gonna
to
sell those things?
Like
You
that's
can't
something
sell those
from like an
things.
Andy Sidaris movie. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't sell just a bag of loose diamonds.
These thugs, they live in like a warehouse that looks like the one from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It has like
Oh, well, we're not there yet. We're not
Okay,
there
okay.
yet.
But I'm just
because
saying
Angelo
that.
on the run, he hides the diamonds in the little kid's wheelchair, who I have to say is wearing a shirt that would be taken off of him if he went to school wearing it.
Oh,
Did
the
you guys
Bart-
notice?
the Bart Simpson shirt.
Oh.
Yes, but it is very well laid out that the kid needs a new cushion. I need a new cushion. This one's broken. It's got a big rip in it. And so that's why he sees it and puts it in. And then he gets a new cushion. And then, because the sister promises she would buy him a new cushion. And she does.
yeah.
Wait,
But
I want to get back to this Bart Simpson shirt, though, because it says Bart Simpson. I'm looking at the copy. I can't make out it like bastard and proud of it or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. When you said like shirt, and I know the one you're talking about, but
Yeah, because he has a slingshot. I think it was an officially licensed shirt.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, let's get like all those weird like Gulf War Bart
Like let's
Simpson shirts.
Yeah.
go murder people or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it looks like season 1 Bart Simpson or
Yeah.
Yeah.
The knockoff.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm a
it's
surfer.
him. Yeah, I think he's strangling War in the Gulf. I was there, dude, and it sucked. Operation Desert Storm.
Oh God.
That's so funny.
Him like strangling all sorts of leaders. Lots of Middle East crisis. You know that Matt Groening actually collects those bootleg Bart shirts?
That's funny.
Yeah, he does.
That's great.
'Cause it rules. You'd see them in New York pretty much. A lot of like African American Bart shirts.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Do they still do that kind of bootleg? Probably not, right?
Well, The Simpsons is not what it once was.
You probably go to New York or the Bronx, you'd see them on the sidewalk or something. You go up to like
Honestly, you could find that stuff in vintage stores.
probably like
now.
Young and Wellesley, Young and it used to be all the head shops down there on Young Street.
Mm-hmm.
You'd find all that crap in there.
I'm seeing a Everest-based Bart bootleg shirt that says Everest no problem. And it's Bart like kind of climbing a mountain and it says Mr. Nepal. What a weird
That is
shirt.
that is for like 6 people.
Yes.
Like nobody is gonna buy that shirt.
It's so hipster though.
That would you'd probably find that on one of the corpses on Everest. Like
Yeah. Wearing the Bart climbs Everest shirt. Oh man, I love this one. It says the Dart Man and Bart is playing darts.
That must have been custom made by a
It is custom made. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
a dart.
it's like a
team.
dart team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, 6 people.
You know that Bart in official merchandise, his shirt is a different color. I think he's green.
Yes, I did know that.
Weird.
I think it's just because it was part of the package of like these are the assets that you have to utilize. No, it's blue. Sorry, blue shirt Bart. Even though he's usually orange shirt Bart.
I remember that was in a Basic Instinct because the girl had the keys.
Wait, what?
Like, the keys are like a plot point in that movie, and she has like a Bart Simpson.
And in Basic Instinct, they're like, wait a minute,
she
the
has, like-
color is different
yeah,
than it is in the
she
TV
has
show.
a Bart Simpson like keychain on it.
Oh, it's blue?
I can't remember if it's blue or green, but I don't know. Maybe it's orange.
Don't have a cow, man. On the commentary of The Simpsons, I remember them complaining because I see the shirts that he's all saying cowabunga. He's like, we never had Bart say cowabunga. He did. He said cowabunga in the show lots of times.
He said
Yeah.
cowabunga. Absolutely.
Hey, all right,
Don't
back
have
to
a
the Rumble
cow
in the
unless you're a farmer.
Yes,
6
and
shirts.
it's like,
Okay.
God, I want some bootleg Simpsons shirt. Please, someone send them to me.
I used to have at malls. They used to have this like little kind of booth that would sell like knockoff crap and all this sort of shit. And then they had one that I bought. It was a Miami Vice sweater, but it was Miami Mice.
That is not a bootleg. That is an official comic book that came out, a parody comic book. Yes. Oh wait, actually,
now learning.
no. I'm seeing here. Yeah, Miami Mice. They look very Disney-ish mice.
It
right?
was like horribly drawn, but it was that famous picture of like Crockett and Tubbs like standing next to the Ferrari.
Man, there's multiple Miami Mice shirts.
I think
so
I'm wearing
I don't
it like in one of my school photos or something like
Really?
that. Yeah.
He loved Miami
I just
Mice.
loved that Miami Mice like sweater. It was so stupid. Thought it was like the coolest.
If only you
person.
could get. Would you wear it now if someone got it for you? It's like 90 years old.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That always baffles me where I see vintage shirts. It's like only $100, and you're like, what? Why? Are you gonna put it in a frame? Like, don't wear it. Sorry, I just sent April 1 million Miami Mice shirts. Is any of those ones yours, Colin?
No, I don't think so. I'll find
Really?
it. Yeah, I'll find it.
Multiple Miami Mices. Okay, we're gonna get back to the plot of this movie. So yes,
Okay.
they hide
just
they
started.
hide the diamonds in the chair, and then is this when Jackie goes to the club and he goes to the club that the gang is hanging out
God,
at
I
one
wish
point.
I could go to a club like this.
Yes.
This is like, as Colin said, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles clubhouse, where there's like pinball machines and arcade machines.
Yeah, no, well, I actually meant the
you meant the club.
dance
Right,
club
right,
where they
right.
have lady on a swing in a cage with a tiger.
With a tiger. Yes.
And it's almost just like that was the point of the scene, because then like they're there for 2 seconds and then the gang like chases him out, because he's now like kind of like seeing the girlfriend of Tony, because she's lives in his building. Sorry.
You're just
Still looking at these Miami Mice shirts.
I keep sending them Miami Mice shirts.
So
None of
many.
them.
No, hold on, I found it.
Whoa, this one's great with the orange mouse.
And here is the comic.
Okay.
Oh wait, so yeah, I sent you that one. I thought
Really?
they all just look the same.
They all look very similar.
Yes. Oh, I think it was just part of the thing. It's
That's
weird that they
slightly
all
different.
kind of have the same design.
It's,
Like it's the same two mice, like a pink one and a brown one.
Well, the comic,
Anyway.
that was
comic
Crockett and
looks
Tubbs.
Oh yeah, pink and brown.
Well, it's Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas.
So after the club, basically the grocery store gets destroyed again.
Yeah, well, okay,
Yeah, not
so-
fully destroyed, but they trash it.
Yeah, basically the big bad, Mr. White, wants his diamonds back. So first of all, I guess the Angelo and Tony are getting revenge for Jackie beating them up. So they trash the store.
Revenge number 30 in this
Yeah.
movie.
There's some crazy stuff. Like the guy runs like his motorcycle like right into the like ice machine or something. It's pretty crazy.
But yeah, so after this happens, and lady who owns convenience store is obviously very upset.
Anita Mui, she's very upset. She's like, "You were on a date."
So he's like, okay, I'm going to settle this once and for all. And he goes to the clubhouse, which seems to take place in an appliance store, because they have a bunch of refrigerators,
There's a lot of props to be
televisions,
used.
yeah.
Perhaps if Jackie would get into a fight.
and as you mentioned, pinball machines.
there's like refrigerators, old CRT TVs.
They've got a pool table,
pinball machines.
I
pool
was
table.
almost reminded a little bit of like the gang club, that's the strip club in Stone Cold a little bit. But these
okay.
guys are less tough than that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like you wouldn't be scared of any of these people.
No. And in fact, after this fight, Jackie actually makes amends with them. But not before their friend comes in after a grueling scene where they shoved a man into a wood chipper. And this was
Yes,
where
that's right.
I was not expecting
That came out of
this
nowhere.
from
And it was
this
like,
movie.
oh, okay. The tone is kind of all over the place.
Much more brutal than I was expecting.
But I think that's kind of typical for a lot of the Hong Kong movies that I've seen. Is like they kind of
Yes.
bounce around very lighthearted, silly, goofy comedy, and then some really disturbing stuff that happens. Yeah.
You are correct. That happens over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Especially near the end of the movies, like people start dying and you're like, oh, wait, what? The comedic relief?
Yeah.
Just got both their arms chopped off or something like that.
After Jackie like beats Tony up, and then like one of the henchmen comes in with 2 bags, like garbage bags, full of just like the wood chippings of his buddy, and then somebody opens it and just vomits.
They're like, ah!
Yeah.
It's so gross.
By the way, none of us have said like what our favorite things are in this movie.
Oh, there's so many good things.
I don't know. I kind of felt like I wish there was more comedy. Is that
Well, I got
wrong?
some Jackie movie and watch City Hunter. That's nothing but
Jesus.
comedy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's wacky.
But
City
no,
Hunter.
I know what my favorite thing is, and that is the end of the movie. But we'll get to there.
Oh, well, I want to pick something from the end too that Jackie has nothing to do with.
Me too.
All right. It's when the guy gets run over by the thing and you see his ass. All right, I got it. I got it. It's mine.
That wasn't my thing. But the end scene. Okay. Well, we
this-
might as well get to
this
it.
leads to like a fantastic like hovercraft chase. The bad guys are getting away.
Yeah, we're skipping over a lot of fifth. What do you want us to say? Like, it's cool when Jackie jumps in the chair and spins around.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah,
It's
so
like-
many great
it's a
fight scenes,
fantastic fight
obviously.
scene.
I mean, honestly, you just need to see it for yourself.
This hovercraft chase is so ridiculous.
But, like,
the
why?
Bronx, famous for its, I guess, I don't know.
Hovercraft.
Hovercrafts in harbor.
It is a little disappointing that there isn't like a one-on-one fight at the end of this movie. And it's a lesson
I
that
agree.
Jackie would take on into his other international productions, like Mr. Nice Guy, to the film's detriment.
Okay.
Where he's like, I guess people, that's what they want, right? Just like a big, chaotic, Michael Bay-ish path of destruction at the end of the film.
I thought the way this movie ends is amazing. Like
It
the
was
very
so
last shot is hilarious.
unexpected. I was just like, first of all, what is this thing? But I guess you would know this if you were in Vancouver, because they do
Like a
They do
hovercraft?
boat tours.
I
On
guess,
that,
yeah, they do
apparently.
boat
It says
tours.
right on it, like tour.
Yeah. They
but
probably go around the harbor.
They drive it through the city and are destroying everything.
It's-
yeah,
so
Jackie does a ski-less water skiing in the back of it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Have you guys ever been able to water ski?
Yeah, I'm too scared to do something
Oh,
like that.
I tried once, and the person doing the boat was like, got obsessed with getting me out of the water, and I just could not do it. I
It's
couldn't
really
get out of the
difficult.
water.
I imagine the
Yeah.
balance involved
It's
is
very,
I don't
very,
know if
very
I
hard.
have that kind of balance.
I remember I used to do it at camp, and then I did it at my friend's cottage years and years later. Like, I want to say decades.
Cottage?
Yeah. I'll kill him!
It wasn't your cottage.
And I remember just like the muscles that are involved. Like my entire body hurt the next day. Like every muscle in my body was just aching like I'd done this crazy workout.
And poor Jackie didn't even have skis.
He didn't
I
have
mean,
skis.
he had
No.
these little things on his feet that you could see.
Yeah, they made little like kind of skis on his shoes.
And at this point, was his ankle broken? Foot broken?
No, I don't think at this point.
Okay,
But
well,
you can
that's
see it. It's hard to watch when he jumps onto the hovercraft in the movie in slow
Yeah,
mo too,
yeah.
and you can see his ankle.
But
just
I
bend.
didn't know this when I first saw it,
Yeah.
so it didn't bother me. But the destruction of the
It's great.
of the,
It's
the
really
city
fun.
where they drive this hovercraft through. And he teams up with the cops, and it's basically just the evil diamond guys
Mm-hmm.
are trying to get Jackie for whatever reason, and they kind of took his girlfriend and Tony
What is
hostage.
their plan? Where are they going
I
with
don't
this
know.
hovercraft?
don't
They're
know.
shooting at like cops, like
Yeah, and then
cop
anyway,
helicopter.
he eventually he finds like a medieval sword, and he rips open this balloon thing that's under this floating boat.
Yeah, there's like a Lamborghini that gets like I don't know, run over by the
That was
hovercraft.
funny with the doors.
Oh, I forgot.
yeah.
There's also like a punk show going on
Yeah.
that the boat crashes into.
There's so many good gags, and then
I
it
love
turns
this
around.
whole ending sequence so much.
Yeah, the drummer just like lowers his sunglasses. He's like hovercraft, and then they're still playing as like everybody's being blown off the stage.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
they
funny.
eventually stop it, and then like
There is a great
one-
gag that we didn't talk about on the beach where Jackie saves a small child.
yeah, and like throws the child
He
out of the
says-
way, and he gets run over by the
It
hovercraft.
turns into a dummy.
But yeah, he gets like a Wile E. Coyote or
Yeah.
something. Like he's just flattened in the sand, and then he just gets up and he's fine. That was very funny. But I love how like 2 seconds after they were like, okay, we stopped this thing. Now let's go get that crime boss in the hoverboat. So they drive the hoverboat
They
to
give-
the golf course.
They give the hoverboat to Jackie Chan.
Yeah, and they're like, here you go, buddy.
They're
Yeah.
like, okay, the hovercraft driver is showing him the controls like a civilian.
Yeah, and everyone, everyone in the movie is the wheelchair kid in there too?
Yes,
because
he
convenience store lady is in there, and then love interest and Tony, and they're all there.
And Jackie is killing these men. He's like running them over.
Yes.
He's knocking them into trees.
Yeah, so that's my
He
favorite
runs over
part.
the one guy and like it looks like the guy like his skin is all ripped up, his ass is out.
Well, the one guy flies up to a tree on a wire, and that was
Yeah, so they let Jackie just drive this hovercraft, God knows how far, to this golf course in the Bronx.
in the mountains.
And it ends with him just like running over the bad guy who has put a person through a wood chipper. And is a horrible person.
Yeah.
White
Tiger, I think his name is.
Exposing his ass, and they just go, yeah.
Yeah, I love
and
it
they
when she
fist
goes,
pump.
yeah, and it freeze frames on Jackie fist pumping, and I'm a sucker for a freeze frame. So.
And everybody's like, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Exactly. But also my other favorite part is the bloopers. Not the ones where you see people actually getting hurt, but the ones that are actual bloopers where people are just laughing. Those are
April,
nice.
if you like bloops, you're going to get a lot of them in Jackie Chan films. That's kind of his thing.
That's what I've heard. And I do like bloops. I've always loved them.
A lot of him getting hurt, though.
Yeah, it seems to be the dark side of bloopers. Like, it's like, I
Yes.
want to see like the pain. But wasn't even just him. It was other people getting hurt too.
It's like every second one somebody gets hauled off in an ambulance.
I understand why they're there, though.
And Jackie Chan does
you know?
not visit them in the hospital.
Oh, really?
He's famous for that, yeah.
Like, it's like,
They're like, you're dead to him if you get injured.
well, he gets injured all the time.
I know, but he's a star. You know who does visit people in the hospital all the time? Sammo Hung.
Oh, that's good.
That's fantastic.
He's very nice. People really like working
People
with
that
Sammo.
he put there. I would love for
Yeah.
him to see like a stunt gone wrong, and then it just shows Jackie at a gravestone, like kneeling, putting flowers, like each time. But it happens
Each time?
But it has like 6 times throughout the bloopers.
I mean, it's rough because when people actually get hurt, like, no one is smiling. It is like a grave
Yeah, it's
thing
like a
to
serious
see.
thing.
So the director of The Protector, James Glickenhaus, said that the way that Jackie would get ready a stunt for him to do is that he would make his stunt people do it over and over again until someone basically makes it, and then he would do it. And the director was like, you can't do it this way because like your stuntmen are like breaking their arms and shit.
And who's to say that like Jackie would even do it without having practiced it, right?
Yeah, well, he doesn't do it. He just makes sure it's safe and then he does it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He just, he didn't jump over that parking
No.
garage thing. He just stepped over on the pile of bodies that was piled up of his
They
stuntmen.
CG'd it out.
Well, Colin, you didn't say one thing, but you can just say everything. That's
My favorite
fine.
thing?
Yeah.
No, he has to pick one. That's the rule of the podcast.
Okay, I'm gonna say the fight scene in the supermarket at the very beginning.
There you go. Boom.
Great,
It's a great way to start. the
super
movie.
well edited. The hits feel very impactful. Super fast. Lots of fun. Great.
Great.
All right, so I have to recommend some movies to April now,
Yeah,
right?
what-
if she
what
wants to
should I
continue
go
this Jackie Chan.
next?
Not only to April,
Police
but
Story.
to everybody else that hasn't.
Yeah. So the
Watch Police Story. That's a really good
the
one.
first one.
Yeah, the first one, Police Story. People would say Super Cop, which is Police Story 3. It's okay. I want you to get different flavors. I would also recommend Dragons Forever,
Oh, that's
which
great.
is Jackie, Sammo, and Yung Bao, who are all like they were opera school buddies when they were
Benny the Jet as the bad guy.
Benny the Jet as the main bad guy. The thing about Jackie movies is that like there's really good scenes in them, but the movies overall are usually like not so
I have
hot.
heard of something called Wheels on Meals.
Yo,
Yes,
that's another
the
one.
same thing as like Dragons Forever. It came out before Dragons Forever. It's part of like
and
the
Benny
trilogy.
the Jet again at the end.
Yep. Project A is really good. It's him fighting pirates from 1983. Sammo Hung directed that one as well, and City Hunter, and Snake in the Eagle Shadow, which is a movie that really blew him up and made him a star, is another one I would recommend.
Which one, sorry?
Snake in the Eagle Shadow.
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
was
great.
made in the same year as like Drunken Master, and both of them directed by Yu Wo Ping.
Yeah.
And that's the movie that made Jackie a star.
Yeah, that one's really
Is
fun.
Drunken Master 2 like an actual like sequel, or is it like an Evil Dead 2 Evil Dead situation? where
It is technically a sequel because he's playing the same character, who's a very like famous character who's had many movies, Wong Fei Hung. But like, there's no links. Like, none of the actors that appeared in the first Drunken Master, other than
And
Jackie,
is it
show
the
up.
same story? No.
No, not really. No, not at all.
But and would you say I need to see the first one, or I'm good
No.
with just two?
You could was 2, but
First
that's
one's
why
fun.
watch Snake in the Eagle's Shadow
Yeah, that's
because
a good
that's like and the first Drunken Master is really good too.
The Snake and
the
Eagle
first-
Shadow is kind of like that's like the kind of like teacher that he hooks up with that just tortures him for.
Yeah, it's like the classic kung fu structure, and him doing like a bunch of wild things. Drunken Master, though, people like that one more just because it's really fun at the end when he does like his Drunken Master thing. I would avoid to watch those ones. Like the 90s movies, those are like kind of advanced Jackie studies. I know a lot of people saw them because they were very available, but they're like really bloated, especially the movies that Jackie directs himself. Like First Strike, or I'm looking here,
Operation
like
Condor.
Operation Con. That's like a mega production.
Yeah.
That and Miracles that Jackie directed.
Oh, yeah.
They're not ones that I would like recommend. Like especially Miracles. It's a remake of a Frank Capra movie, and there's barely any action scenes in it.
But there are some
And
good
it
action scenes in it.
There's some amazing but the movie's 2 hours long.
Oh god.
And and it was basically Jackie was in love with like the techno crane. So like every shot is so long.
Oh, speaking of that,
Techno crane
we
shot.
forgot to mention the weird lenses in this movie.
Yeah, very
Yeah, they're very
strange.
wide angle.
But it's just like the it's too wide angle to the point where almost the whole shot is
Almost
out
like
of
this
focus.
swirly.
Yeah, it like distorts the end.
Yeah.
It's almost like a swirly defocus.
Did it get less as the movie went on? Because I kind of
it seemed
stopped
to, yeah.
noticing it.
Yeah.
So maybe they were
Maybe
just,
your eyes adjusted
It's
and you're
possible.
like
It's quite possible,
Yes,
but
it
yeah,
is
at the
possible,
beginning,
yeah.
it's like the only thing in focus is like the person in the center of screen, and that's it. And everything
Yeah.
And you know, Stanley Tom, the director of this movie, still directing Jackie Chan films to this day.
Really?
And they're so bad. Yeah, they're really bad.
he went on to do Mr. Magoo with
He
Leslie
did.
Nielsen.
That movie,
people
not
keep
very good.
telling us to watch that.
It's not good.
No, I
Who keeps
me and
telling us
Will
to watch
watched
it?
it.
multiple people have told us that we need to watch this next. Although it could have been the same person.
Wow,
in
I gave it
different
1
places.
star.
Yes.
Miserable. Wish I was watching Wrongfully Accused.
I've seen Wrongfully Accused.
Funny
it's not that
movie.
bad. I liked it. Yeah. Mr. Magoo, I can't speak to that. So this movie, Rumble in the Bronx, very available. Although the one that I watched, that I rented off iTunes, was the New Line Cinema cut.
Yeah, it's really the only available version unless you want to go
Okay.
watch a VCD of it. So, and that's what version I recommend to watch. That was the one that was a hit.
Yes. So yeah, obviously would recommend this movie. And thank you to our Patreon, T. Dickinson, for recommending it. And thank you for being a patron. And if you want to be a patron and maybe pick a future movie for our podcast, you can find us at patreon.com/no such thing as a bad movie. And if you're at the $5 level and up, you also get a bonus episode every 2 weeks. And next week, we're talking about a new movie that just came out on streaming called Hundreds of Beavers, and we also take questions from the audience. So it's a fun place. If you want to email the podcast,
It's a fun place, but you can't live there. You can only visit.
yeah, exactly, for just $5 a month. But if you want to email the podcast, we're at no such thing as a bad movie at gmail.com, and we're on Twitter and Instagram at no such thing pod. And if you want to find me, I am on Twitter and Instagram at April Atmansky.
You can find me on Twitter, Justin DeClue, also there on Letterboxd, and every week on the Very Fine Comic Book Podcast. So check it out.
You can follow me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
Also, our podcast is on YouTube. Every episode uploaded in full. And
Are you doing it
find,
manually now? Because you can put the RSS feed in. I saw somebody was telling me that.
I know you can do that, but yeah, I do it manually because I like to put in the pictures, you know, and I like to put in the custom artwork and stuff for each episode. So, I mean, it's not difficult for me to do. And yeah, if you want to see tons of pictures of the Miami mice, check us out on YouTube for this episode. You could just search.
Is this
No
the
Such
one?
Thing as a
No.
Bad
Is
Movie.
this the one? No. Is this
There's
the one?
so
No.
many. But they are pretty cute, those mice. So that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Justin DeClue.
I'm Colin Cunningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.